performance without burnout. And we're here with Marla Marvis Hartman today. Mervis, right?
Yes.
Very nice. Well, we're so excited to meet you. And you talk to women around the world about their relationship with their body and food. And your business is called Love Your Body, Love Yourself, right?
Yes.
Awesome. How long have you been participating and doing this for your passion?
I created Love Your Body, Love Yourself about 7 years ago when I finally healed my own relationship with my body. Most of my adult life, or even as a young child, I think I started tracking my food at age 10 and was really aware that my body mattered. What my look like was really important. And from that point, I started binging and dieting and restricting and obsessing. And it took me on a long road of just a lot of negativity, a lot of beating myself up. And when I finally realized that by being more accepting, by being more positive, by surrendering what I looked like, I finally got relief. And I actually got the body that I was looking for and wanting the whole time that I was freaking out and restricting and binging and purging. So when I went through this whole recovery journey, which took me many, many years, to recover, when I would say that my journey was long to
Mhm.
find this place of healing, but there was like the moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm good.
Oh, wow.
I know, yes. And it was in that moment that love your body, love yourself just came to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my mission. This
Yeah.
is what I'm supposed to do. This is even why I've been struggling so much, because now I know from the inside out how to support women to have freedom with food and to have body confidence without having to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
Like find more
You've been
pleasure
there
in your
before
body.
in your own.
Yeah, like I know what it's like. I've been in the trenches. I know how awful it is to be, you know, concerned about walking out the door because you don't like what you look like, constantly obsessing, comparing myself to everyone around me, shoving
Mhm.
food in my mouth when no one's looking, like all of it, like the shame and the upset and the obsession, and just it was not pretty.
Yeah.
And
And that's
now that I'm
such a
on the other
powerful
side of
story.
it, I can support.
You can support people on the other side. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that coming from your own personal journey with it is so powerful, right? Because um, a lot of our listeners have situations that are that extreme, and some have never even considered what their relationship with food is, and they think how they're doing it is normal, and they're not necessarily emotionally attached to the action of waking up, eating breakfast, right, taking a brunch or taking a break at lunch and eating lunch as fast as they can, during their 30-minute break, and seeing that suddenly they're falling asleep at their desk, right? Trying to get back. They're not even registering that there can be peace within that meal, when they have that relationship with themselves, and not worrying about their self-consciousness, or if they go out to lunch with their friends, am I ordering the salad or am I ordering the burger like everyone else, and that anxiety that maybe comes with it. So you're talking a lot about the emotional relationship. And that was very powerful for you to share your story. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
didn't know that about you.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. And it makes such a great, you're able to be compassionate with people. And I think that's a lot of what our listeners like too, right? It's like, we're like, how do we be, successful? How do we be driven? But how do we be passionate and love people for where they're at? And it's from coming from within ourselves and in our own story.
Yeah,
And so,
it is from that vulnerable place. Often
yeah,
it is the place that we're healing, and when we heal it and when we find it, we can really share. It doesn't have to show up just in our work. It can show up just in our lives and how we are with others, as how we are as a friend, how we are as a family member, right? When we heal, we have more space for other people. And I love what you were talking about as far as a relationship with food, because you're really bringing up this idea of self-care and how we take care of ourselves and how we have we're with food every single day. at least, it would depends on how much, how often you're eating, right?
Yeah,
At least twice or three times, and many of us more than that. It's like, why not have a relationship? Why not slow down and be like, what is this relationship with food? And how can I make it my friend rather than an enemy? And that's what it was for me. I didn't trust food. I didn't trust myself around food. I didn't trust the food was going to take care of my body. I didn't listen to my hunger cues. I overrid them. I overate, or I didn't trust when I was hungry to actually feed myself. So there can be a lot of dysfunction in there, and we can overlay that with I'm too busy. I have work to do. I
yeah,
have a deadline, or whatever the story is. But there's usually an inner voice that is using that as an excuse, rather than what are we what is truly important here. We need to just get our priorities straight.
I agree. And you find too, when you've figured out your relationship with food, um, you're able to perform better because you can actually use the energy from the fuel that you're eating, and you're not in this state of anxiety, right? So that's the kind of peak performance, is when you really look at what is my relationship with food, maybe what did my family and my heritage put in me that I didn't even know. And now I'm in that freedom to check in with myself and say, like, no, this is my personal relationship, like you said, and it comes from within. And that's something that, your parents can't tell you about. That's something that your best friends might have similar to you. And that's why you all like the same, happy hour spot. But that relationship, exactly like you said, is different. And that's what you do in your coaching. Is that right?
Yes, that's what I do in my coaching. And I go deep into, I love that you brought up family, because that's where we get a lot of these beliefs around our body, right? If we're constantly being told as a child that, we need to watch what we're eating, or that, our family is making comments about our body, even positive comments. I had a lot of comments about my body because I was a curvy little girl. And that's the imprint that I got, was like, oh, my body matters. I'm getting attention about my body. Right? Oh, so I better keep it a certain way. And if I don't, then I'm not going to get that attention. Right. So
Oh, wow.
like looking into, like, what were these belief structures that I was given, and are they even mine? And then we want to take society. Are you kidding me? Like, society's view of women. Let's look at Instagram and look at all like the hot sites. So the pages are these fitness, that it's just, it's over the top with looking a specific way.
Yeah.
And most women, 98% of women cannot hit that ideal beauty standard. But we're all beating ourselves up because we think that we're supposed to. And we're restricting, and we're white knuckling our food, and we're, I'll just say it again, beating ourselves up that we don't look a certain way. And see, that once again is society's view of our bodies, rather than our own internal view of our body and our own internal view of our relationship with food, right? Like, we need to check it. And as women, the women that are listening to this, it's like, we need to get empowered and take our power back from all these things that we're being told is our power, which is our body looking hot and sexy and whatever. And sure, I like to look good. I'm not saying that, but like, where is the extreme? Where is it that looking a certain way is stealing our life force? It's
Oh,
stealing the energy from all of our relationships, right? We can't show up for a friend because we have to go to the gym. We're not present with the person that we're talking to because we're thinking about, the pizza behind them. Like, where is it in, like, taking over our lives? That's what we need to check it. That's what we need to get off those Instagram sites. We need to throw away our magazines, and we just need to get in touch with our own body and into our own pleasure. What does feel good? How does my body like to move? What would feel good for self-care for me? Do I need to get up in the morning after being, like, going to bed super late and, like, force myself on a run? Can I do something that's a little more gentle and caring and loving? It's, because what ends up
yeah.
happening, we do the run and then you crash later and then you probably overeat anyway. So what's the point?
It's finding balance, I think, is what I'm hearing, right? And that's so difficult because people have these rigid routines because of what they're told, and what they see around the world around them,
Yeah.
but you don't see that on social media and out in society. You don't see those times of solitude, those times of rest, those times. I mean, you kind of see one version, I'd like to believe, of people on social media. And there's people that are doing it well. There's people that are saying, hey, like, I figured out how to nourish my body from being a really, really extreme model situation. And you see those really powerful stories. But to dig it into your own life and say, I might not be on an extreme where I need to completely reset my whole diet pattern, right? Like I don't have a disease as of anorexia or things like that. But there's these habitual components of it that do really matter. And the longer that, or not the longer, the earlier you can find and see that transformation where you can start to love yourself more, right? Which is what your whole thing is like, you can love yourself more. You wake up and you literally see yourself differently in the mirror every day. You see yourself with that courage. You see yourself empowered. And then you begin to be that beacon for other people to really like see like, wow, like she owns exactly who she is. She knows exactly who she is. She feels solid in that. She can enjoy a variety of food and find pleasure in it without having to be so white knuckled or broken down. And that's actually where that you can kind of visualize that the performance would get better for you. Like you would wake up every day and it's not as stressful to just be a human being needing fuel. And so that's powerful. So I'm a couple years off post grad. Do you have any advice for people, kind of figuring out their own routines, and starting that relationship? Some quick tips, maybe?
Yeah, well, I think all that we just talked about are some really good tips,
I
right?
agree.
I just want to go back and just circle back to what you said, Mia, because I think it's really important. You don't have to be in the depths of despair, like
Mm-hmm.
I was around food in my body, to not get something from this, right? Like there's still places that we are not, where we are swept away with, society's views of our bodies, or we're not listening to what our body wants for food or for fuel. So this is a good step for everyone, because if we keep taking steps away, we get further and further away from ourselves. So like if you're just joining the life force, or you're in college, or you're post grad, and you're starting, you're with a company and you're building and building. It's like, let's start the framework. Let's start the groundwork
Yeah.
right now. Don't wait till you have to have a crash. Learn from people, listen to people that have crashed and burned. I have so many women that you hear about just being like the burnout syndrome, burning out their adrenals, burning out their thyroid. It's true and it's real. And if you don't take care of your body, that it could happen to you. Cancel, but right, like,
Yeah.
so I find that scheduling self-care is so important. And when I say that, it doesn't mean like going to get a massage every week. Like, sure, go get a massage, but like, what can you do in the morning, every morning? Like, can you take 3 minutes and move your body in a yummy way, do a little breath, do a little meditation? I'm a Reiki master and I love doing Reiki. So I will just put my hands on myself, and you can do that too, right? Like, can you put your hands on your heart and just take some nice gentle breaths. It's so simple, right? Every time you go to the bathroom, like one of my teachers would say, like, the bathroom is like the throne. You sit on the toilet and you can take a moment for yourself,
Yeah.
especially when things are crazy out in the world. Like, you can close the door and you can take a moment. It's like, sometimes for people, the only place where they can take that space.
Mm-hmm.
Be there, take some breaths, maybe jump around a little bit, right? If you're sitting at your desk for a really long time, like, get your body moving and flowing, right? Because our body starts to get stagnant and stuck, and we don't even realize it, but we're like this. And the only time we were like, I don't know why I'm so tight. I need a massage. It's like, no, just move your body, right? Just get up and like stretch and
Yeah,
move.
I like it.
That's what I'll do in between sessions. I will put some music on for 2 or 3 minutes and just jump around and just, get my body flowing, because our bodies are not supposed to be sitting for as long as we are. What are they calling, like sitting the new smoking?
Yes. And
Yeah.
I think that's so like powerful. And if people have never heard that, it's true. Sitting is the new smoking. And I think most people are having headphones on their desk anyways, right? So you're listening to your favorite music. I think maybe sometimes it's having the courage, like, hey, I'm in my cubicle. Someone might see my head bobbing up and down, but I don't care, right? This is about my time. And that's the same as the food, right? Like, hey, I know that this meal nourishes my body. I don't care. This is what I need. This is who I am. And when you, not the, like it, people's opinion, you start running your world from you and you're not able to, you're not submitting a lot of your energy to other people. And if you can get powered up like that from a quick dance or some really good Reiki, I love that. I hadn't had my hands on my chest today. So when you were walking us through that, I was like, oh wow. I'm also kind of sunburned, but that's okay. But that's great. So is that normally like your head and neck that you feel like what can people do in their office? Like really easy, just some deep breaths. How many breaths would you say people do in to do the
As
Reiki
long as
itself?
you can, right? If you have 10 minutes, sit there and breathe gently. Inhale, exhale, get an app on your phone, listen to something, calm yourself down, put your hands in different parts of your body. Just imagine loving energy going in. It's so simple. That's why we don't do it, because it's so bloody simple, right? Like
Yeah.
set your timer and sit there, focus on your breath. I like to breathe really deep because it keeps me activated and connected. But I'll like, 10 of those, right? And then sit and just feel the rush. Can be really rejuvenating.
Yeah. And it may even help your hunger. Would you say that too? Have you ever been like where you're maybe about to grab that snack or about to say like, oh my gosh, I'm too drained. My default setting is to go grab food, right? Or grab sugar to make me go that extra mile. But you're saying that we actually, with just increased oxygen and a little bit of self-care, can actually make those exciting moments, like reboost in your energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a different relationship. It's going to be different depending on the day, right? Like some days it's like, I need that snack. And some
Mm-hmm.
days, like, I don't need that snack. I'm just actually feeling overly emotional. I just need to do something else. So, like, what do we do? If we don't go to the food, what do we do? So, sitting there with the discomfort can be, well, uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So we can actually just breathe or replace it, right? Find a meditation, move our body, do something to take place of, going and shoving food down our throats.
Gotcha. That was
Yeah.
very, very insightful, and I almost feel more zen already. I do want to ask, so you have a free offer for our guests, right?
So my free gift is, it's actually called Get Out of Your Head and Into Your Body, and it's a movement meditation, and it's for those times where your brain keeps saying the same thing negative about yourself over and over and over again, and you're in your head and you can't shift the thoughts. And it's those times where we have to get out of our head because we're not going to talk ourselves into anything positive. So what we can do is we can get into our body, which is what we're talking about this whole time, actually, right? We can get into our body and we can shift that. So this is what that meditation is all about. So highly recommend you checking it out, joining my community. And, if you need more support, please reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I have an online program that I have a one-on-one work that I do within Love Your Body, Love Yourself, and a lot of opportunities, and I'm very approachable.
Yeah. You've been so fun to connect with, and I want to share, like, I'm so grateful just to get to know you a little better, and how real it is to really, people are running themselves into the ground, and it's all within their own body, and then they go to the weekends and dance it off, and they're like, oh wow, I feel better. It's like, well, we could be dancing it off like on Tuesday. You don't have to wait till Friday and all the toxins and things too, right? So it is that simple. And I think giving people that freedom and hearing from an expert like you, that you're not alone. And that's a big message here in our, in this community, and that, you giving away something free is so much paying it forward for all the hard work you've done. And then just kind of cheering people on to say, like, I should evaluate my relationship with food, and it's not this big daunting thing that, but it's something that you're mindful of every single day, and that it's small and it's easy and it's simple, and you can just every day you get better, and where you left off yesterday is, how you feel the next day, and that relationship with food changes. You find more excitement in it, and you get more just really good peace, and you share community when you do share those meals, and it's not this stressful thing you have to go to. So I love that, and it's so great. So we will definitely be sharing that, so that everybody can get that free content. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much for gifting that. And then remind me your social media links as well as your website.
Yes, so loveyourbodyloveyourself.com. You can find all my social links on there, but it's Love Your Body, Love Yourself always on Instagram, and Love Your Body, Love Yourself on Facebook as well.
Awesome. And when you're one of those positive influencers, we're going to go see, so we can get tools and tips while looking beautiful. Yeah. You are gorgeous. Awesome. Well, it was so great connecting, Marla, and I'm sure we'll be connecting through social media and things soon, and getting that offer out. Okay.